Now I'm going to show you how to use Google Sheets to perform the chi-square analysis. First, let's open Google Sheets. And I've already set up a Google Sheet with the structure that I'll need to enter the data and perform the calculations. First, let's assume that we're looking at a cross just described, where we observe 2 purple plants, but 0 white plants. We want to know, is there the possibility still that we might see any white plants? Is the purple plant homozygous P or is it heterozygous? We can calculate the total number of observations by using the equals sum parentheses function, and we select one value, one cell, and the next cell we don't want that last comma, so we close the parentheses, enter, and it calculates the total for us. Now if you have a total of 2 plants, given the cross that we're performing, a heterozygote crossed to, or an unknown plant rather, crossed to a white plant, our expectation was that half of those 2, or 1 individual would be a purple flower and 1 would be white, on average, if given our null hypothesis or our expectation that the purple parent is a heterozygote. And so we'll see that this still is equal to 2. So it's very important that the number of observed individuals and the number of expected individuals are identical. 2 observed, 2 expected. Now we can set up the chi-square calculation. So I'm going to select a different cell, equals. The formula here is the observed values for one of the 2 populations, like purple, minus the expected number, close parentheses, and then there's squared, and then you divide that by the expected number, D4. Now that's for the purple plants. We have to add the same clause for the white plants. Observed number of white minus the expected number of white, square that, divide it by the expected number of white. So our chi-square value now is 2. We need to know how many degrees of freedom. That's the number of categories minus 1. In this case, we have 2 categories. We have purple plants and we have white plants. So 2 minus 1 gives us a degree of freedom of 1. We can use Google Sheets to calculate the p-value, the probability that our null hypothesis is correct. And this is the formula for that, equals chi-dist for chi-distribution. And you can see in the bottom left where I'm typing that just above that it says chi-dist x comma degrees of freedom, and this is the prompt that tells us how to enter information into this formula. So x is actually chi, that's the chi-square value, 2, and then we want to enter the number of degrees of freedom, which is in cell G4, and there we have it. Google Sheets has told us that the p-value is 0.15. We'll talk about how to interpret that p-value in just a minute. But notice that it's greater than 0.05. That's the important part. Now, let's look at one other example. And this is why you would want to do chi-square analysis in a spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Excel. Let's say we set up another cross and we observed 19 purple plants and we still saw 0 white plants. We're going to ask, what's the probability now that the purple parent was a heterozygote, which again is our null hypothesis. So you'll see that because we've used formulas to calculate the total, it says that we've got a total of 19 plants. Now we need to adjust the expected number so that it also totals 19. And our expectation is that there would be an equal number of purple and white plants. So how do you get an equal number of purple and white plants that total 19? That would be nine and a half purple plants and 9.5 white plants. So now we've got our expected and observed values, and look, over here, the chi-square formula has already, because it was referencing those cells that just changed, we just changed, it's already updated the formula for us. Except now I'm accidentally editing it. But when I put it back the way it's supposed to be, now we can see that it's given us a chi-square value of 19, and with 1 degree of freedom, the p-value there is 0.00001, much, much less than 0.05. So this is how to set up a chi-square calculation using Google Sheets. Thanks for watching, and please be sure to be in touch if you have any questions.